So, you're in your late 30s. Your periods are doing the most. Either they're all over the place or they are heavier than they have ever been. You are not sleeping. Your anxiety is through the roof. And your doctor just looked at you and said, "You're too young for menopause." And you walked out of that office feeling dismissed, confused, and honestly, a little crazy. Let me tell you something. You are not too young, and you are not crazy. Let's talk about what is actually going on.
Higher, higher, Howard Peace Wellness.
I'm Denise. I am a women's health nurse and a menopause coach, and this is Aya Women's Wellness Coaching. If this is your first time here, welcome, love. You found the right place. The biggest myth about perimenopause is that it's something that happens in your late 40s, early 50s. That is what most of us were taught. That is what a lot of doctors still believe. But here's the clinical reality. Perimenopause can begin anywhere from your mid-30s to your late 40s. The average age is about 47, but that means plenty of women start earlier. And for some women, more than we talk about, symptoms begin well before 40. Now, I want to be clear about something because language matters here. There's a difference between perimenopause, early menopause, and premature ovarian insufficiency, which used to be called premature menopause. These are different things, and we're going to do a dedicated video on each one. But what I want you to take from today is this. If you are in your late 30s and your body is doing things it has never done before, perimenopause belongs in the conversation. Full stop. So what does perimenopause actually look like when it shows up early? Because here's the thing, it doesn't always look like hot flashes. That's the image we all have, the older woman fanning herself. That is not the whole picture. For women in their 30s, it also shows up looking like something else entirely. Anxiety that seems to come out of nowhere, and I mean real anxiety, not just stress. Irregular periods, maybe they're closer together, maybe they're skipping, maybe the flow has completely changed. Brain fog, trouble sleeping even when you're exhausted, joint pain, heart palpitations, mood changes that feel disproportionate to what's happening around you. Does that sound familiar at all? Here's why that matters so much for us as Black women specifically. We already have to work harder to be taken seriously in medical spaces. That is a documented reality, not a perception. So when we go in with these symptoms, we get brushed off, told it's stress, told it's anxiety, told to lose weight, told we're too young, and we tend to accept it. We go home and we keep pushing through. I need you to stop pushing through in silence and start pushing back with information. Let me give you the clinical picture because knowledge is power and you deserve to understand your own body. Perimenopause is the transition period leading up to menopause, which is defined as 12 consecutive months without a period. During perimenopause, your ovaries are gradually producing less estrogen, but, and this is important, it's not a smooth decline, it's erratic. Your estrogen can spike high and then crash low, sometimes within the same cycle. That erratic fluctuation is what drives so many of the symptoms that you're experiencing. Your body and your brain are responding to a hormonal environment that keeps shifting. For women in their late 30s, what often triggers this conversation is cycle changes. Periods coming every 21 days instead of 28, or skipping months, or suddenly becoming much heavier. Those changes are worth paying attention to and worth documenting. One more thing I want to say clinically. If you are in your 30s and experiencing these symptoms, it is worth asking your doctor to check your FSH levels. FSH stands for follicular stimulating hormone. Elevated FSH can be an indication that your ovaries are working harder than they should be for your age, which can be an early sign of perimenopause or ovarian insufficiency. It's not the whole picture, but it's a starting point for the conversation. Okay, so practically speaking, what do you do if you think this might be you? 1, start tracking everything. Your cycle, your symptoms, your mood, your sleep. Write it down or use an app. When you walk into a doctor's office with 3 months of documented symptoms, you are much harder to dismiss. 2, ask specifically about perimenopause. Don't wait for your doctor to bring it up. Say the word. Say, I've been reading about perimenopause and I'd like to discuss whether my symptoms could be related. You are allowed to direct that conversation. 3, if you are dismissed, get a second opinion. I will never stop saying this. Find a doctor who specializes in menopause. The Menopause Society has a directory of certified practitioners. I will put a link in the description. 4, come back to this channel because we are going to go deep on every single one of these symptoms, every option available to you, and everything your doctor might not be telling you. If you are in your 30s and you have been carrying these symptoms around, wondering what is wrong with you, I hope this video gave you something solid to stand on. Nothing is wrong with you. Your body is giving you information. And now you have some of the language to start getting answers. Share this video with a woman in her 30s who needs to hear it because she might be going through this right now and has no idea. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming and drop a comment below. How old were you when you first started noticing that something was different? I would love to hear from you. And I will see you next week, love.
Yeah.